Good evening and welcome to Sentinel, Oklahoma for the commencement ceremonies for the 8th grade class of 2023. At this time, I ask that you please silence or turn off your cell phones, and if for any reason you need to leave during the ceremony, this event is being live streamed into the cafeteria as well as the school's YouTube page. At the end of the ceremony, we ask that all guests wait until all participants have left before exiting the auditorium. Please remain seated as we welcome this year's 8th grade class. Eighth grade students, please be seated. Connor Kilhofer has a GPA of 3.93. He's a member of the junior high Bulldog baseball and basketball teams and is active in Sentinel TSA. Please welcome the 2023 8th grade salutatorian, Connor Kilhofer.
Parents, family, friends, and school personnel. It is both an honor and a privilege for me to be here representing the 8th grade class of 2023. I believe my classmates and I realize how important tonight is for us. I hope each one of us will utilize the education presented to us to the fullest of our capabilities. We are all fortunate to have had the opportunity to receive a public education, the same education that is available to each and every person in this great nation. Over the years, we have grown together and shared many things: sporting events, music contests, parties, good times, and some bad times. We have also set our goals for the future. Each one of us wants to do the best we can with the abilities given to us. No matter what our goals in life, we must always begin with the basic fundamentals and values taught to us. This will help us achieve those goals and be successful. I hope everyone is as lucky as I have been. I have been so fortunate to have had the never-ending support of my parents, family, and friends. They have helped me become the person I am today and the adult I'll become in the future. For that, I thank you. Classmates, as we go forward tonight, graduating junior high and entering high school, continue to strive to achieve your goals. Remember that we must pick and choose the direction we plan to follow. We are responsible for our own future. No one, not our parents, family, or friends, can make us a success or a failure. Each person here will decide his or her own destiny. In the year of 2027, we will walk across the stage for a second time, and we'll have achieved one goal. We will have received the education that will help us through the rest of our lives to go on to pursue our future. Once again, I thank you for your presence and allowing me the honor of speaking to you this evening.
Keely Baker has a GPA of 4.0. She's a member of the junior high Lady Bulldogs softball and basketball teams, academic team, and is active in the Sentinel chapter of FCCLA. Please welcome 2023 8th grade valedictorian, Keely Baker.
Good evening. I want to thank you all for coming tonight to support my fellow classmates and me. Tonight, I would like to talk about some of the things my parents have taught me over the last 14 years. Some of these were taught out of love, some were taught out of anger, and to be honest, some of these were taught because they were at the end of their rope. My mom taught me about religion. You better pray that comes out of the carpet. My dad taught me about irony. Keep crying and I'll give you something to cry about. My mom taught me about contortionism. Look at that dirt on the back of your neck. My dad taught me about behavior modification. Stop acting like your mom. My mom taught me about the science of osmosis. Shut your mouth and eat your dinner. My dad taught me about anticipation. Just wait until we get home. My mom taught me about the circle of life. I brought you into this world and I can take you out of it. My dad taught me about genetics. You are just like your mother. My mom taught me about gratitude. There are millions of less fortunate kids in this world who don't have wonderful parents like you have. And their all-time favorite, justice. One day you'll have kids and I hope they turn out just like you. Seriously though, to their defense, it's been a tough road. Many of you know about the Keelyisms my mom has posted on Facebook for years. I wasn't the easiest child and I wasn't always on task. I feel pretty confident my teachers would agree, and my coaches, and my grandparents, and my siblings, and my friends, and my classmates. Oh, and that gymnastics coach I had for about a month in 3rd grade. That didn't go well. I guess what I'm trying to say is that learning comes in many forms. Some of us are auditory learners. By us, I don't mean me. My parents have had my hearing checked several times. Some of us are visual learners. Again, not me. I'm wearing contacts right now. Some of us learn best by creating personal experiences. That's me. Classmates, I want to thank you all for the personal experiences we have created together. Some were happy, some were sad, but they were almost always hilarious. Teachers, I want to apologize for all of the personal experiences my classmates and I have created together in your classes. Even though we caused many of you to not only question your sanity, but also your choice of career, we have learned so much from each of you. Mr. Marshall, you taught us about passion. Every day you would say that what we were learning that day was the most important part of history. I quickly learned that everything you teach is the most important thing to you because of how much you love teaching history. Ms. Callison, you taught us about investing in others. Every day you asked us about our personal lives and the things we are interested in just to create a bond with us. Coach Johnson, you taught us about finding humor in the little things. You were able to get on our level, understand where we were coming from, and teach us from experience. Miss Ivan, you taught us about organization. You made sure your lectures and our notes were easy to understand. You took away all excuses for us not to do well in your class. And last but not least, Ms. Kiloffer, you taught us about consistency. Every day, we knew from the time we walked into class until the dismissal bell rang that we were going to be working our tails off. Coaches, Dad, thank you for all the personal experiences we had on the way home after games where I didn't play well. I always knew I was going to get some helpful advice as soon as the car door shut. Personal experiences are what make life worth living. I encourage my classmates and everyone here to remember to enjoy the everyday. Enjoy the small things, the trivial things. These are the things that make life special to each individual person. I would like to close with a quote from Michael Josephson. Take pride in how far you've come, have faith in how far you can go, but don't forget to enjoy the journey. Thank you.
Gunther Claunch has a GPA of 4.0. He's a member of the Sentinel He's a member of the Sentinel Junior High Academic Team and is active in TSA. Please welcome 2023 8th grade valedictorian, Gunther Claunch.
Good evening, 8th grade graduates. I am honored to stand before you today as you celebrate your graduation from middle school. Congratulations on this incredible achievement. You have all worked hard, learned so much, and grown as individuals over the past 3 years. Today, we celebrate your accomplishments and look forward to the bright future ahead of you. Middle school is a great time of change and growth. During these past few years, you have learned so much. You have learned new subjects, met new friends, and navigated the challenges of adolescence. You have discovered your interest and talent, and you have developed the skills you need to succeed in high school and beyond. But none of this was easy. You have faced countless obstacles along the way. You may have struggled with a particular subject or with making friends. You may have experienced loss or hardship in your personal life. But through it all, you persevered. You showed grit and determination, and you never gave up. That is something to be proud of. As you move on to high school, I encourage you to continue pushing yourself. Take risks, try new things, and don't be afraid to fail. Failure is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of growth. Every time you fail, you learn something new. Every time you get back up, you become stronger. High school will present new challenges, but you are more than capable of overcoming them. You have the skills and knowledge you need to succeed, and you have the support of your family, your friends, and your teachers. Use that support to your advantage. Lean on your loved ones when you need help and be there for them in return. Remember that success is not just about getting good grades or winning awards. It's about being kind, respectful, and empathetic. It's about using your talents and abilities to make the world a better place. As you go through high school and beyond, always strive to be the best version of yourself. Treat others with kindness and respect, and never forget the values you hold dear. Finally, I want to leave you with a quote from Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. You have been given a gift of education. and it is up to you to use it wisely. Use it to make a positive impact on the world, to make a difference in the lives of others, and to fulfill your own potential. Once again, congratulations on your graduation. I am so proud of all that you have accomplished, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. Go out there and change the world.
Jace McHouston has a GPA of 4.0. He's active in the Sentinel chapter of TSA, is a member of the academic team, student council, and currently serves as the 8th grade class president. Please welcome 2023 8th grade valedictorian, Jace McHouston.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending our 8th grade graduation ceremony. I would like to give a special thanks to Mr. Goostrey, Mr. Graybill, our teachers, staff, my family, my fellow classmates, and most importantly, God. My name is Jace McHouston, and it is an honor to be standing in front of all of you today, celebrating everyone that has helped me get to where I am today. In the past 3 years since we entered middle school, we have all begun to mature and start facing the challenges of becoming an adult. Many of us have encountered difficult obstacles along the way, whether they were in class or even personal. We've worked to become better students and overcome any troubles that have come into our paths with the help of our peers, our families, and our teachers. Even though my achievements in school and those of my classmates have been successful, some of my most important lessons are not always learned from a book in a classroom. Learning things outside of school can also be a great benefit to becoming successful. We can learn a lot by observing our peers and people we look up to. I have learned many lessons from working for my dad and my grandpa, or even doing fun things like riding my mountain bike. Mountain biking requires quick thinking and smart path choices. Working for my dad or grandpa requires hard work and determination. Like in high school and in our life after school, we will need to make smart choices, work hard, and be determined to succeed. The journey ahead may not be easy, and most of us will stumble at some point along the way. The important thing we need to remember is that we must get back up and keep working towards our end goals and dreams. From the famous words of Albert Einstein, life is like riding a bicycle. To stay balanced, you must keep moving. There are always going to be obstacles that will try to stop us from being a success. We must push harder and do our best to meet our end goal. And lastly, to borrow the words of author, speaker, and business trainer Jeffrey Gitomer, obstacles can't stop you. Problems can't stop you. Most of all, other people can't stop you.
Dallas Rodriguez also has a GPA of 4.0. She's a member of the junior high Lady Bulldog basketball and softball teams, is active in the Sentinel chapter of FCCLA. Please welcome 2023 8th grade valedictorian, Dallas Rodriguez.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here to celebrate this new chapter that we're about to enter. All of us appreciate the support tonight and all of the support you have given us over the years, not just for special occasions, but also daily. As I look out over the crowd here tonight, I recognize all of the faces that greet us at the grocery store, the bank, the station, and various other places here in Sentinel. Thank you all so much. I especially want to thank my teachers, my classmates, and of course, my family for helping me get here today. Throughout the years so far, we have made many great memories with each other and occasionally some not so great memories. However, good or bad, we have learned and developed and become better and wiser from all of these experiences. Going forward, I hope that we all try to have new experiences and step out of our comfort zones. I'm a typically very shy person, but I took a step this year to join the cheer team, which was something I never thought I would do. I chose to challenge myself in hopes that it would encourage my classmates to do the same. We have 4 more years here together. 4 years, 35,040 hours, 2,102,400 minutes. So let's make each one count to treat each other with kindness and support each other with positivity. Although some of us may think we'll only be leaders in the future to our children and coworkers, we are already leaders and examples to the younger students. As they watch us and see how we behave and act, they think that's how they should too. So I hope we can be positive examples and strive to be good human beings. Now, I'd like to leave you with a quote by Nick Vujicic. We may have absolutely no control over what happens to us, but we have control over how we react. If we choose the right attitude, we can rise above whatever challenges we face. Again, thank you all so much for coming here tonight.
Our guest speaker this evening, Mr. Tom McEwen, or Pastor Tom as he prefers, was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. After 1 semester of college, he decided to join the United States Air Force. He enlisted and became an air crew systems repairman, which in layman's terms means he was an ejection seat mechanic. While stationed at Altus Air Force Base, Mr. McEwen made a personal commitment to Jesus. He also met his first wife, who was from Granite, and they had a son. Toward the end of his time in the military, Pastor Tom was called to the ministry and upon discharge attended Southwestern Assemblies of God College in Waxahachie, Texas. He then moved to Vermont and became an assistant pastor. After that, he went on to pastor 2 other churches in New Hampshire for a total of 25 years spent in New England. Tom and his wife returned to Oklahoma, where she passed away due to health complications in 2008. In 2009, Pastor Tom came to Sentinel to serve as a pastor of the First Assembly of God Church, and in 2012, he married his wife Janet, and they remain in Sentinel to this day. Please welcome Pastor Tom McEwen.
Well, the nervousness is over for all of you students that you had to give speeches. I remember having to give a speech in 8th grade. Teacher kept asking, all right, who's ready next? I kept putting it off. I didn't like to speak in front of people. I didn't want to. I didn't want to be there. God has a sense of humor. Puts us in places where have to do things that we weren't ready for before. I remember in high school, English and history were my worst subjects. Yeah, well, God had a sense of humor there too. I want to talk to you a little bit about education, some of the history of education. It was during the Wesleyan revival of the 18th century. That's been a few years before any of us were born, I think. There was a printer in England, a man named Robert Raikes, who saw the plight of the city's poor, especially the poor children. Out of his burden for these children who were compelled to work long hours during the week, and arose from his burden, he began a Sunday school movement, bringing children into his own home on Sundays. Robert Raikes was able to teach them the basics, the essentials of reading, with the Bible serving as the textbook for these lessons. About 200 years ago in 1823, Reverend Samuel Reed Hall must have gotten his name while he was in England, having two middle names. Anyway, he founded the first private normal school in the United States in Concord, New Hampshire. The first public normal school in the United States was founded shortly afterward in 1839 in Lexington, Massachusetts. Many of you have probably never even seen that part of the country. In these schools, until about 1900, the Bible and the New England Primer were the standard textbooks in these public schools. Education. That's just a brief history. Education's important. If you haven't recognized how important it is, maybe you get a chance to meet somebody who didn't get a chance to go very far in school. I had a mother-in-law who was made to quit school in the 6th grade, and a brother-in-law who didn't get much farther than that. Reading is essential to our education. How would we know what was in a can on the grocery shelf if we couldn't read? There are some brands that have pictures of what's in it, but then you get to the generic ones and it's just writing. If you couldn't read, how would you know which one you wanted to buy? How would you know whether to push or pull on a door if you couldn't read that little sign on the door? And there's so many other things that we can mention about reading, how essential it is. You haven't discovered them yet. The job applications are on your horizon. A lot of reading and a lot of thinking about, when did that happen? How did I do that? When did that take place? Newspapers used to be big. They're going by the wayside, a lot of them. I'm thankful we still have one in Sentinel, and it touts the activities of so many of our students and our young people. Writing is also an essential ingredient to our education, though I do recognize that much of the writing has been taken over by electronic gadgets. If it weren't for pioneers saying that they weren't going to recognize the technology of my flip phone, I'd still have one. But writing, how would you send a note to a friend? How would you leave a note for mom and dad that you had come home and were going over to a friend's house? How did we ever survive before all the electronic gadgets? Most of us that lived before them think we survived very well and are not real thrilled with all the electronic gadgets. But that's a generational difference. Arithmetic is another essential in our education. How many times do we buy something and the clerk just hands us a wad of change and said, "Here you go"? Very few of them anymore count back the change. Some of you may not even know what that means. They look at the computer screen and says, this is how much they give back to the customer, so that's what they give back. In my day, all the clerks counted back the change so that the customer knew he got the right change. Sometimes I wonder, when the clerk does not count back the change, is he giving me the right change? Even farmers need to know arithmetics and counting and, well, if you think about it, how much fertilizer does he put on per square acre? And just every area of walk of life requires a knowledge of arithmetic. As you get into high school, you'll probably be confronted with algebra. If you haven't already, I'm not sure. Things have changed so much since I was in school. And you may wonder, what use is this? Well, as you go along, you'll learn what use it has. Although there are some people, some adults yet today have not figured out what good it was. But then there was probably the most essential thing that I found in college: where to find it. Libraries are filled with books. You've got dictionaries. I think you still have encyclopedias. I don't know. Do they still have paper encyclopedias? All right, good. Before I went to New England, we looked up Vermont in an encyclopedia to find out not where it was. We pretty much knew where it was, but needed to know what the climate was like, what kind of people lived there, what were some of the statistics about it, where to find it. They also have books of, what did I write there? Equations, that's what I wrote. Books with equations in them. Because we won't remember all of the equations that we have in arithmetic and all the things that go along with it, and we're staggered sometimes to remember some of them. And if just basic math isn't enough, then comes geometry and trigonometry and all kinds of other fun things. And then there are those who enjoy learning by observing. Businesses have learned that that's a good tool as well, oftentimes called on-the-job training. You watch somebody else do it and you follow their example to do it. Sometimes we find we learn better. Some do, some don't. Some learn better from a book, some from watching somebody else. But all of us need to continue to learn. I'm past retirement age, but I'm still learning. In fact, some of those statistics that I got from about education, some of it I Googled. Yeah, I figured out some things on that smartphone that's smarter than I am. And then I went to books on my shelf. I have a pretty good sized library. And my wife asked me, well, what are you going to do with all those books when you're gone? I'm gone. They can do whatever they want with them. Education. It's an experience that needs to be enjoyed as much as you can, and learn what you can, because you'll need it in all the rest of your life. Thank you, friends. Thank you, seniors or eighth graders. Thank you, all of you, for coming tonight.
Thank you, Mr. McEwen. Graduating candidates, please stand. Mr. Goostree, members of the Sentinel Board of Education, I would like to present these 8th grade students as candidates for promotion into high school. Macy Alonzo. Keely Baker. Harold Castillo. Christina Chavez. Gunther Claunch. Noah Ferris. Jackson Graybill. Aubrey Hartline. Aaron Juarez. Connor Kilhofer. Jace McCustian. Delaney Morrow. Alex Munoz. Hunter Range. Dallas Rodriguez. Priscilla Sombrano. Students, I hope you guys were paying attention when Mr. McEwen talked about the importance of counting, because I messed up counting diploma covers earlier today. Rowdy Wall. And Braden Webb.
Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, 8th graders, with the power vested in me by the Sentinel Board of Education, I pronounce you 2023 graduates of Sentinel Junior High.
We'd like to thank all of you for coming, and that concludes this evening's ceremony.